Next, let's learn the crocheting method for the hands. The crocheting method is the same for both versions. And it's identical for both left and right hands. After completing the hands, sew on the water drop beads. Now, please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. I'll demonstrate using a sample. The colors are random. The first 3 rounds don't use any new stitches. We'll follow the chart to finish the first 3 rounds. Here, the sample has already been completed. Now let's learn the crocheting method for our 4. Start by working a single crochet. After that, we will use a new stitch. A represents SC2 tog. First, work an incomplete single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Then, work another one in the next adjacent stitch. At this point, there should be 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over. Pull through all loops on the hook. 1 SC2 tog is now complete. XA is now completed. We treat 1 single crochet and 1 SC2 tog as a set. In this round, we need to work this set 3 times. Let me demonstrate it again. The second set is now completed. Now, let's finish the last set. Slip stitch. Our 4 is now completed. Now let's move on to our 5. Starting from our 5, we will work even with single crochets. Continue to complete the remaining rounds. Leave a 15 cm tail and cut the yarn. This concludes the crocheting method for the hand. Use the same method to complete the other one. Next, we will sew on the hands. Start by sewing the water drop beads on the hand. Flatten them along the position of the slip stitches. Then sew them onto this side. Sew the 3 water drop beads separately. At the center position. And at the junction between the first and second rounds. Start by taking a piece of yarn. This color should match the color of the hand. You will need 1 strand for sewing. Draw out 1 strand of yarn. Thread it through a needle. Tie a knot at the end. Hide the yarn tail within the piece. Take out the water drop beads. After completing, come out from the center position. Then sew on the third bead. Hide the yarn tail after finishing. Cut the yarn. Use the same method to sew the water drop beads on the other hand. Now we will sew the hands onto the body. Using the color block near the slip stitch as the center line. Press it flat. The sewing position for the hand is about 1 centimeter below the lace trim. Thread the reserved yarn tail into the needle. Position the slip stitch facing downward. Following the texture of the stitches, sew it well. After sewing one hand, do not cut the yarn yet. Sew the other hand next. Once everything is sewn, check if the position is symmetrical. See if anything is sewn crooked. If there are no issues, hide the yarn tails for both hands. Cut the yarn. Here, I will cut the yarn directly. The side with the slip stitches is the wrong side. The hands are now sewn together. Now let's learn the crochet method for the feet. It's the same as for the hands. The crochet method is identical for both versions of feet, and it's the same for the left and right foot. After completion, attach the pom-poms. Next, please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, we will start with the foundation chain. Hang the yarn on your left hand. Pick up the hook with your right hand. Position it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. Pay attention not to make the loop on the hook too tight. This makes it convenient for subsequent crocheting. Now, let's start with the chains. Yarn over and draw through. You will need a total of 6 stitches here. I have now completed the required number of chains. Then find the second chain from the left. That is this one here. Insert into the back loop. And make 1 single crochet. The single crochet is completed. Continue crocheting 3 more single crochets. Always insert into the back loop of each stitch. Now 4 single crochets are completed. We have reached the corner. W indicates SC3 in 1. Insert into the back loop and make 3 single crochets. One, 2, 3. The SC3 in 1 is completed. Pick up 2 strands on the adjacent chain and make 1 single crochet. That is, at the same insertion point for this single crochet. Be mindful not to crochet into the insertion point of the top 3 single crochets. When working this side, place the starting tail above the hook. One single crochet. The second stitch. The third stitch. After completion, make 1 SC2 in 1 in the first chain hole. This is the first stitch. So, you will crochet 2 stitches into this hole. The SC2-in-1 is now completed. Next, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. R1 is now completed. From the second to the last rounds, there are no new stitches. Follow the chart and continue crocheting. When you reach R6, you need to add some stuffing yarn. You can use bulk yarn for stuffing. Here's what it looks like after completing R6 in the sample. Take a piece of yarn. The foot is now stuffed. You don't need to stuff it too tightly here. After that, continue following the chart to finish the remaining rounds. When done, leave about 15 cm of yarn tail and cut. Now let's glue on the pom-poms. Take out the white fluffy pom-poms. Apply some glue. Position the toes pointing upwards. This way, the pom-poms are glued on properly. The method is quite simple. Make sure to glue the pom-poms on the other foot as well. Now let's sew the 2 feet together. Let's take a look at the finished product. The sewing position for both versions of feet is between the 2 color blocks, about 1 to 2 stitches outward. Then, about 1 centimeter away from the bottom edge. Flatten the workpiece along the hand position. Place the slip stitch at the back. Find the center line. Thread the reserved yarn into the sewing needle. Sew 1 stitch to secure it first. Then sew along the texture properly. Note: the position of the slip stitch is facing downward. After sewing, if everything looks good at the seam, we can then hide the tail and fasten off. Here, I'll go ahead and hide the tail directly. Up to this point, the foot section is complete. Now let's sew on the buttons. Let's take a look at the finished product. The buttons are sewn between the 2 feet. At the boundary of 2 color blocks. Referring to the finished product, we can sew them in approximately the right position. Take a length of yarn. Thread it through the needle. There's no need to separate the strands here. Make a knot at the end. Bring the needle out from the wrong side. You can also sew through this spot twice, for extra security. Once completed, hide the tail. And cut the yarn. One button is now securely sewn on. Everyone can use the same method to sew on the other button. Next, we'll work on the facial features. The facial features include hat, ears, eyes, mouth, and blush. Now let's learn the crocheting method for the hat. Let's take a look at the finished product. The hat is made up of 2 colors. It is divided into the left and the right. The crocheting method is the same, only the colors are different. You just need to adjust the direction when assembling. To achieve the finished product's effect, both versions use the same crocheting method. Each hat is crocheted in rounds starting with a magic ring. Finally, attach a pom-pom. Now, please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. The first 2 rounds do not involve any new stitches. Please crochet these rounds first. Here is what it looks like after completing the second round. Now let's learn the crocheting method for our 3. Chain 1 to start. Crochet 1 single crochet first. Once completed, You need to crochet 3 half double crochets. Here we use a new stitch. T represents half double crochet. Yarn over. Insert into the left stitch. Yarn over. Draw through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pull through all 3 loops on the hook once. 1 half double crochet is completed. This is the stitch of it. Continue to crochet another half double crochet, yarn over. Draw through, pull through the loops once. The second half double crochet is now done. Follow the same method to crochet another half double crochet. Three half double crochets are now completed. There are 2 stitches left, crochet 2 single crochets. Slip stitch. R3 is now completed. The crochet method for R4 and R5 is the same as R3. I'll demonstrate the crochet method for R4 again. Start with a single crochet. Then, in the stitch of the half double crochet, work 3 half double crochets. One, 2, 3. After that, finish with 2 single crochets. Slip stitch. Pull tight. R4 is now completed. Everyone, refer to the chart. Continue crocheting all the way to the R6. R6 is now completed. Note, when crocheting the right hat, leave a 15 cm tail before cutting the yarn. When crocheting the left hat, there's no need to leave a tail, just hide it. Here, I will cut the yarn directly. Up to this point, the explanation for one hat is complete. Everyone, follow the same method to complete the remaining hat. Next, we'll learn the sewing method for the hats. Both versions use the same sewing method. First, let's take out the right hat. Press it flat. The yarn tail is on the right side. Thread it through a needle. Press the fabric piece flat. Then fold it in half. This is the center of the hat. Take out the right hat. Begin sewing. When sewing, pick up the back loops to sew together. Pull through both sides of the hat. After finishing the seam on the right hat, take out the left hat. Pass the yarn through the left hat. This secures the middle section between both hats. Then, following the texture, sew the left hat on. When sewing here, you can slightly tighten the yarn. This makes the different colors less noticeable. Fasten off. The hat is now assembled. Next, attach the pom-pom to the top of the hat. Take out the pom-pom in the corresponding color. Apply glue to the center of the hat. This secures the pom-pom in place. Next, let's learn the crochet method for the ears. The two versions of ears are identical, they only differ in color. And for each version, the left and right ears are the same. The ears start with a foundation chain. Work around the chains for one round. Now, please watch as I demonstrate the specific method. Let's start. Chain 7. Here, I have already completed the chains. Next, work one single crochet in the second to last stitch. After that, work another single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Then, work 3 half double crochets. Now we are at the corner. Work 5 half double crochets in this corner. When you reach this side, place the yarn tail over your hook. Pull the yarn through. Continue with 3 more half double crochets. Here, you can cut the yarn tail. Then continue with 1 single crochet. After completing it, work 1 SC2 in 1 in the first single crochet hole. The SC2 in 1 is now complete. Slip stitch. Pull tight. Leave about 15 cm of the yarn tail before cutting the yarn. That completes one ear. Follow the same method to complete the other one. After completion, it's time to assemble them. The sewing method is the same for both versions. Position each ear on either side of the hat at around the 8th stitch. First, thread the needle. Then press the ear flat. Come out once. Secure the shape. Then come out at the 8th stitch. When sewing the ears, there's no need to pick up the back loops. Just exit through the stitches directly, so it's securely in place. When actually sewing, you can also adjust the position of the ears according to your preference. Fasten off. Everyone follow the same method to sew the other ear as well. Next, let's learn the crocheting method for the eyes. The eyes for the two versions are different. The giggle version is an elongated fabric piece and eye accessories. The hey-ha version is a circular fabric piece and eye accessories. The circular fabric piece does not use any new stitches. Both are started with the magic ring and crocheting in rounds. The elongated eye fabric piece is started with the foundation chain. Everyone complete both eye fabric pieces. After completion, leave a 15 cm yarn tail and fasten off. Here is what the two versions of eye fabric pieces look like when finished. Take out the eye patches. The hey-ha version features an oval patch. The giggle version features a circular patch. Apply glue. Stick them on at the corresponding positions. Up to this point, the eyes are completely made. Now let's learn how to sew on the eyes. First, we'll sew on the hey-ha version. Thread the yarn with a needle. Find the center position of the hat. The highest point of the eye should be about 1 row of single crochets from the top, and 1 single crochet from the center stitch. After positioning them correctly, start sewing. After sewing them on, similarly, don't cut the yarn yet, and sew on the other eye next. The other eye should also be 1 single crochet from the top, and about 3 single crochets away from the left eye. After sewing both eyes on, check if their positions are symmetrical. If there's no problem, hide and fasten off the yarn for the second eye first. Then do the same for the first eye. Here, I'll just fasten off directly. Cut the yarn. Next, assemble the giggle version eyes. The highest point of the eye should be about 3 rows of single crochets from the top. And about 2 single crochets from the center stitch. Let's position them roughly. Note that when sewing the top part of the eye, you only need to pick up one strand. When sewing to the bottom, pick up the stitches normally. Adjust the shape as you sew. Similarly, don't cut the yarn after completing this. After sewing the second eye using the same method, fasten off together if there are no issues. Make sure everything is sewn properly. Here, I will cut the yarn directly. Up to this point, we have completed the explanation for both versions of eyes. Next, let's make the mouth. We'll start with the giggle version. Let's look at the finished product. The highest point of the mouth is at the junction of the H5 and H6T of the lace. Counting from the bottom upwards. At these 2 points, there are approximately 12 single crochets in between. Now let's sew them together. Take a length of yarn, thread it through the needle. First, secure the yarn tail on the wrong side. Then come out and count about 12 single crochets from here. The lowest point of the mouth is roughly at the junction between H1 and H2. After adjusting, fasten off on the wrong side. Then apply a little glue to the yarn to set it in place. Everyone finish this part. Now let's make the Haya's mouth. The mouth spans a total of 4 stitches. The highest point is at the junction of H3 and H4 of the lace. Counting from the bottom up. The lowest point is at the junction of H2 and H3. First, find the approximate center position along the hat. Then count 2 stitches to the right. Similarly, start by securing on the wrong side. Then exit through the position of the hook. Next, sew it according to the shape. After adjusting the shape, apply glue to the yarn. Secure it in place. Once completed, fasten off. Trim all remaining yarn tails. Up to this point, the mouth is completed. Now let's apply the blush. You can compare with the finished product and place the blush in the approximate position. Up to this point, all facial features have been covered. Now let's learn the crocheting method for the straps. Let's look at the finished product. The straps consist of strap fabric piece and ribbon. The fabric piece starts with a foundation chain, and it's worked back and forth. After completing the crocheting, sew on the ribbon, then assemble it onto the face. Next, please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, start with a foundation chain. Note that the starting tail should be left long for sewing later. Chain 7 to begin. Then, on the third chain from the hook, which is right here, start with a half double crochet. One half double crochet is completed. Continue working half double crochets. Finish the remaining chains. H1 is now complete. Continue to H2. Chain 2 as a beginning chain, which don't count as one stitch. Turn your piece over. Continue by working into the half double crochet stitch below these chains. Crochet 1 half double crochet. After completing it, continue working 4 more half double crochets. H2 is now complete. Let me demonstrate this one more time. Chain 2 as a beginning chain. Turn the piece over. Crochet 1 half double crochet into the first stitch. Then, continue with 4 more half double crochets. Note: you don't need to work into the beginning chain. Follow this same method to keep crocheting until you reach the desired length. When finished, leave a tail of about 15 cm and fasten off. Here, I will still use a sample for demonstration. There are fewer rows, so I will only explain the method. The strap piece doesn't need to be distinguished as right or wrong side. Next, we will sew on the ribbon. Here, use the same color yarn as the strap piece for sewing. First, take a length of yarn. You need to pull out one strand for sewing. Thread it through a needle. Tie a knot at the end. Get the ribbon ready. Bend the ribbon by about 1 centimeter. And place it on top of the strap. Start sewing from the position where one row of half double crochets would be. We will hide the yarn tail under the ribbon. If you run out of yarn while sewing, simply weave the needle into the wrong side of the ribbon. Hide and secure the yarn tail. Then take a new length of yarn and continue sewing. Similarly, hide the yarn tail under the ribbon. Sew to the other end, leaving space for one row of half double crochets again. Also, leave about 1 centimeter of the ribbon protruding. Everyone should follow the same method to complete sewing the ribbon. Finally, we will assemble the strap. Sew it onto the face. Thread the needle with the reserved yarn tail. Fold both the strap and the face in half together. Determine the position of the strap. The edge of the strap is at the junction of H5 and H6 of the face, counting from the top down. You can also sew in a suitable position according to your preference. Note: when sewing here, do not draw through the loops. And don't come out to the right side. After completing, hide the yarn tail. Cut the yarn. This completes one side of the strap. Follow the same method to sew the other side as well. Up to this point, the making methods for both versions of the cup sleeves have now been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family. Support your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.